I was underestimating what I eat in a day on today's Reddit question episode featuring Goose. Any comments? Not much to say. Anyways, let's dive right into today's question. As always, welcome back, where I take today's trending Reddit questions and I give you some personal takes, some opinions, some professional expertise, and some context. Hopefully, you find something useful here and it's also entertaining. Don't forget to leave a like, it goes a long way. Let's dive right into today's question, where a Reddit user asked, I was underestimating what I eat. Honestly, I used to think it was my metabolism, but when I paid attention, I realized it was mostly small snacks and drinks adding up. I didn't change everything, I just became more aware and added more protein. That alone made a difference. Very, very good point. I wouldn't say necessarily it's a question, but I wanted to cover this topic because it is more common than people realize how the little stuff adds up so quickly. When I work with that comes to me and they start producing a nutrition food diary of some form, they think they are always under eating, they have a broken metabolism, they're just not meant to eat that many calories. But the truth of the matter is, when we start looking at the numbers, we start looking at the thermodynamics of calories in versus calories out, you realize that so many people are underestimating, and human error is one of the biggest drivers for us failing to reach our goals. And it's normal. We are humans. We make mistakes. We fail. It's part of the journey. You have to learn to be honest with yourself if you are really dedicated to reaching your goals. The most common ways that we underestimate our foods are snacks, condiments like sauces, especially when we're dieting. That extra 50 to 100 calories can make or break your deficit. A lower weight and body weight female dieting at 1600 calories with a couple hundred calories of condiments can easily put her deficit back to maintenance and be stuck yo-yo diet and lose sight of her goals. So the next time your weight plateaus and you're stuck, check in with yourself and ask yourself, am I being honest with myself? At what point do you stop feeling more tired after hitting the gym than before? This Reddit user asked, gym around 3 p.m. and I'm done around 4. I'm pooped and I go home to have dinner. I'm still pooped at 1800 and I've been hitting the gym on and off for 15 years. Mostly off because I don't feel less tired after the gym and I don't feel like I have less energy when I don't exercise. I had a 6-month session recently where I went to the gym 4 to 5 times pretty consistently until I got sick. Not once did I feel that high that people talk about. I guess I'm just as mellow as anyone can be. All right. Interesting question here. I want to discuss this a little bit and give you some context. I think this is where it's important. Now, hitting the gym in the afternoon after work, you could be a little bit tired and pooped or exhausted after. It's normal, especially if you've had a long day of work and maybe your nutrition isn't timed. So maybe you're not timing your carbohydrate intake before training, so you're crashing afterwards. And if you're training really hard to near failure, for example, with really close reps and hard sessions, it is normal to feel pretty exhausted even at 6 p.m. or later in the day. You don't just bounce back. A lot of time I'll hit the gym in the afternoon and I'll be like, I'm done for the day. I'll be zombie mode. That's also okay. It just means you gave the session everything. You talk about consistency and how you do the 4 to 5 sessions for 6 months, but you didn't feel the high that people talk about. I think you might be referring to endorphins and more of something that you feel from running than actually resistance training. Because once you proper resistance training, I don't feel a high. I feel like I want to go home and die. You know, like I'm cooked. I don't want to do anything else. I want to put my feet up. I want to watch Netflix and I want to walk my dog. That's me. I think training time of day is important to build a good routine and consistency. If you're someone who's used to going in the afternoons, stick to it, because if you mix up the mornings, it can really throw off your rhythm and routine. I'm mid-morning to an afternoon late person. I go through periods. It's spring and it's getting brighter. I become more of a mid-morning training person. In the winter, I'm definitely a dark evening basement gym goer. And I stick to that 6 months in the mornings, 6 months in the nighttime, and it works for me. How often should I be going to failure? This Reddit user asked. Right now, I pick one exercise towards the end of my workout that I go to failure every other day. I want to do that every day, but I guess I'm not sure if that's challenging the muscles too much. Could I go to failure on one exercise every day, or is there a general rule of thumb that I should go for? So what does the science tell us? There is a lot of research into the hypertrophy rep ranges, and you can build a lot of muscle in different rep ranges. Intensity is the main driver that will change the way your body looks and help you potentially build more muscle. Going to near failure is very important, in my opinion, to achieve better results. You don't need to go to failure every session or on every exercise. You mentioned zero information about your age, height, activity level, how often you've been training for, and different levels. Someone who is more advanced might handle the higher threshold to near failure. A beginner or intermediate lifter might handle failure worse. They might not know their threshold and limits just yet, so they could potentially reach failure every session and still progress. Total volume, intensity, and what you can recover from are going to dictate how often you should go to failure. But as a general rule of thumb, 2 to 3 sets, you're leaving the first 2 sets 1 to 2 reps shy of near failure, so 1 to 2 RIR. And the third set, you probably reach mechanical failure before you reach your prescribed repetitions. So if your goal is to hit 8 reps on the third set, because you're working so hard, you might only get 7 reps, and that is failure. And that is okay. As long as you're able to recover, and an indication of recovery is you're feeling comfortable to do more the next session, between the sessions and muscle groups, then you are on the right track. So there's no blanket answer or rule of thumb necessarily. It's very general terms and very specific to you, but use that rule of thumb in a way where it's like, okay, what can I recover? What can I handle? And am I progressing? Use those rules of thumb to dictate how often and how hard you should be going to near failure. And that is today's episode. As always, check out the links in the bio, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next episode.